What's going on, guys? jblader back here again for another episode of Efficient Minecraft. Today we are on episode I think 12 at this point, and we are going to be looking for those endermen. So last time I made this little platform. I've been mining and AFKing some, and it just doesn't really produce endermen because it only works at night because of how light levels work, and it basically fills up with zombies and then nothing happens. So we're going to be going through the nether today, and we're going to be looking for some endermen using a desert biome. So I moved the portal up here, and then we're also going to be creating another portal that is going to be taking us to a desert biome. So the way we're going to be doing this is using our F3. So we open up F3 here, and if you look at the coordinates, we're going to be going to specific coordinates and setting up a portal, and it's going to take us to a desert biome. The way this works is you find out where you want the portal in the overworld, and then you divide the overworld coordinates by 8, because each block in the nether is 8 blocks in the overworld. So we just moved 10 blocks, that would be 80 blocks in the overworld, for example. So I wrote down the coordinates in my chat. I was able to find the seed. It's 0, negative 2600 in the overworld, so that would be 0 and then 2600 divided by 8. So I'm going to use a quick calculator. There are data packs to do this a little bit faster, but for right now we're just going to try to get to the desert biome as quickly as possible. So I'm going to mine out all the way to the coordinates, and then I'll come back. So if you're mining through the nether like this, make sure that you watch for random lava source blocks. They do spawn at random, so I'm going to be watching very closely for them to spawn, and then I'm also looking very closely to make sure that I don't fall into lava. We're going to go to about negative 320-ish, and that should get us really close. The desert is large, so I just need to be close to the edge of it. Whew. That's what you're looking out for. So that would not have killed me, but I do have feather falling and fire protection, and I do have a fire protection potion on me, so I'm going to actually put that in my hotbar just in case things go really badly. That's why you keep those potions on you if you're going through the nether. Yeah, put it in my offhand. So we're going to negative 320. I'm going to mine there, be right back. So to place blocks like this, I'm holding shift and I'm holding my right click and placing on the side of the blocks. If there is server lag, if you're playing on a server, be careful because it can cause you to fall. But here on a single player world, it is no problem. You can just hold down the shift and keep on moving. Okay, so we're at like negative 330. This should be close. This should get us in the desert biome. So what I'm going to do is make a spot here for a portal. Remember, you gotta have at least 10 obsidian, and you also will need a flint and steel. Let's go ahead and place that. Okay, so it'll take a moment for this to load because I've never loaded these chunks before, but we're gonna go ahead and go through here, and it should load us into a desert or desert hills biome. The reason we're going to a desert is it's way easier to actually see endermen, and they actually spawn slightly more than other biomes because there's no trees or entities like that to really block the spawning spaces, so there's just a lot of spawning spaces. So if you see here, we are in let's see, so it actually is like lagging and not telling me what biome we're in. I'm gonna go ahead and break this portal, and I'm gonna head up and see what biome we're in here because I'm extremely curious why the chunk isn't loading now. Okay, we finally hit the top at 160. That's fine. Let's go ahead and head up here. Yeah, so this is a great point. Okay, so we have a jungle on this side. Man, this looks amazing. We have an amplified jungle on this side, and then we have an amplified desert on this side. Of course, I picked like one of the highest points to mine up. I was trying to get down here, obviously, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and set up the portal here. It'll synchronize to the other one that we built. Okay, so now if we go back through this one, it should take us back to that point in the nether. Yeah, it does. So that's perfect. And let's make sure it synchronizes when we go back through. Perfect. So now we have a place to mine sand. and we also have a place to farm endermen. So what I'm going to do now is basically just wait it out until I see an enderman. I talked a few episodes ago about making a little contraption to like trap endermen, so that's going to be one of the first things we're going to do. This isn't going to be technical by any means. It's basically just using the fact that endermen are taller than average mobs. So we got our looting 3 sword. We're ready to go ahead and fight some endermen. Alright, so it's almost daytime, and I was going to just show you guys really quickly what the little contraption looks like, if you could even call it that, okay? So this is all it is. You just make a little place where you can stand, have a block on each side of you, so that you can stand in the middle of it. And endermen are 3 blocks tall, so they can't get to you, and you're able to stand here and hit them, alright? So it's very easy to make. You can expand it as much as you want, but this way they can't hit you. And there's a few other things that you can do so that even other mobs can't hit you. Let me show you real quick. So we make our crafting bench, and then if I take this smooth sandstone here and make some slabs out of it, one thing that we're able to do is actually do something like this. And so now in 1.14 you can shift under blocks, so you can actually shift under here, and mobs like zombies, creepers can't. Skeletons can still hit you, spiders can still hit you, and there's even ways to avoid that by placing fences here. That way, like, they step up onto the block, because fences technically are taller than a block. So that's something that you can do as well, but we won't really get into that too much more, because today we're just gonna really be focusing on endermen. So what I'm gonna be doing is during the day, like this, I'm going to be collecting sand, and then at night I'm going to be enderman farming, and I'm going to be flattening out areas basically so that it's easier to see endermen. So I'm taking sand from these high areas, kind of flattening out this plateau. That way we can see endermen a little bit easier when they do spawn. Most of the endermen, if you're standing up here, are going to be spawning 40 to 50 blocks away from you. So like all of this area here is potential. Some of this area down here, and what's nice is that you can just look at them and then they'll aggro to you, and you can just stand here like this and there's no way they can get to you. You're completely safe. So I'm going to be AFKing for some endermen and farming some sand, and I'll come back once I've made some progress. Okay, it's nighttime here, and I'm able to see like zombies and stuff spawning like that. So basically they're going to stay here and take up what's called a mob cap. They're going to there's a certain amount of mobs that can spawn at a time, and they're taking up those spots. So one thing is you can do is go farther away so that they despawn, and that'll like reset the cap. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do here. I want to run over here, and hopefully in time they'll despawn. I think that's an enderman. It is. I see him holding a sand block. Okay, I would usually try to fight him in my own territory, like up there, but I'm gonna YOLO this. Alright, he's aggroed at me. We should have enough hearts to handle this guy. If you have fire aspect on your sword, this is harder, by the way, because they teleport way more randomly. Okay, we got 4 from that guy. That is like the most we could possibly get. Let's take this off my hotbar and replace it with a bow and arrow. So yeah, if you didn't know this, you can put a bow and arrow in your offhand and have the best of both. Oh, sorry, rabbit. I did not mean to kill you, but you were in the line of fire. So these guys are yet again just taking up the mob cap. Let's get rid of them, and gunpowder is not bad to have either. Okay, so this is basically what I'm going to do for the next 9 minutes that we have of darkness. I'm just going to be running around, clearing the mob cap, looking for endermen, and when I do find them, I'm going to be fighting them kind of like I did earlier. Since it's like more flat down here, this is probably the best place. You can see a ton of mobs spawn over there. And on a multiplayer server, this is going to be harder because you're going to be sharing this cap, like the amount of mobs that spawn. Basically, you share it with other people on the server. So keep that in mind, that on multiplayer, this could be even harder than it is here, and it still can be kind of a game of luck, even on this, like whether they spawn or not, because it's basically completely random what spawns and where. So Let's get these last ender pearls. I'm aiming for 12. I think 12 would be a good start, but any more than that would be bonus. Alright guys, I'm back after collecting some ender pearls. We managed to get 13 ender pearls, and that was 2-day cycles, so 40 minutes basically. We were able to get 13, which isn't too bad. So now we're going to be combining these with blaze powder, and we get Eye of Enders. Now, there are ways to find, our goal is to find a stronghold, and there are ways to find strongholds by using a seed viewer, which I've kind of talked about before, but I'm trying to show you guys, if you don't have access to the seed, this is how you do it. If you do have access to the seed, I recommend using a stronghold finder. Although it isn't 100% reliable, that is something that you can do. So what you do is stand in a location where you're going to be able to see where the ender pearl or the Eye of Ender goes. It's usually going to go up in the air in a direction, and then you're going to right click. There's a chance of it breaking, and there's a chance of you getting it back. So I clicked right click, and it went this way. So we saw that it went this way and it fell right here. I'm going to go ahead and go down here and get it. We'll float back up to the top. So roughly that direction is the way we need to go. So I'm going to go grab this boat over here, and we're going to head out in that direction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to throw that ender pearl, or the Eye of Ender, excuse me, every like 150 blocks. So we're going to go 150 blocks, throw it, make sure we haven't passed it, and eventually it'll start sinking towards the stronghold, or we're going to pass it and it'll go back in the other direction. So this is a really easy way to do it. And then once we find it, we'll be able to make a portal and sink it back through the nether so that we can get back for really easy access to the stronghold. So let's go ahead and go through the ocean for this way a little bit. Throw another one. Yep, still going in this direction. And we got it back, and let's keep going. Alright, so that one broke. Unfortunate, but we still have 12 left. Driving through a kelp field here. And we're going into a warm ocean. Alright, 11 left. Let's hope we find it in time. Down to 9. This is cutting it a little close. This is why you may need to go back and get some more. I think 12 is a good number to start out with. But we're getting very unlucky with the amount that we're broken. Sometimes you can find a stronghold on 2 or 3, and we've already went through, what, 5, almost 4 or 5. So, yeah, sometimes you just can get unlucky. But we're getting to explore some really cool area. We've already passed 2 ocean monuments, which are nice, and a village, and there's a shipwreck over here to my left, but I'm going to ignore that for right now, because let's focus on finding that stronghold first. Okay, I just threw one, and it went back towards the direction that we were coming from, so that means we are getting, like, closer, and the Eye of Ender fell into the water. There it is. So I need every single Eye of Ender I can get right now. Cannot afford to lose any. So we were coming around, I was coming around this mountain right here in front of us, and so it's got to be right here, very close. Let's throw it this way. Okay, it's back this way. This is back the way we came. Whoa, lightning almost struck us there. Sorry if this is really dark. I know this is like really hard to watch, but we're going to be going underground soon anyway. Okay, we got it back. Got it back again. Alright, so it must be around this mountain, which is weird because I threw it on this side. So I think it just went down into the ground, which means we're like right on top of the portal room. And sadly, I've lost the Eye of Ender. So there's no really easy way to do this, but let's just go ahead and mine down here and see if we can't find it. We have 8 Eyes of Ender left, so we may need a few more. So if we hit F3, we can see how far we are away. We're actually 2,000 blocks away, basically, from our base. And the stronghold should be, if there is a stronghold here and the game's not bugging, it should be between like Y20 and Y40. So we should mine into it, and we're going to know we're there because we're going to hit stone brick blocks and the stone brick variants of blocks. Just like that right there. And there's a skeleton. I don't want to deal with them. So just like that, we got the I Spy, which is amazing. And there are ender pearls in these sometimes. Just like that, we got a few ender pearls. Now, I didn't bring any torches with me, which is unfortunate. You can see there are a lot of mobs in here. This is the library. So we made it to the Stronghold, but I'm going to discuss the Stronghold and discuss getting to the end more in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Efficient Minecraft. If you're enjoying the series, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. It really helps out the channel, and I'll see you next time here on the Amplified World for another episode of Efficient Minecraft.